Rising to the collective. What up, YouTube? It's your boy Clipper the Clipper, and I'm back at it. And in this video, topic discussion, we're going to be discussing things that people don't understand when it comes to lawsuits, courts, judgment, degree, and everything else. So in this video, I'm posting right now on this page. I'm pulling up somebody named Poetic Flacco. If you're interested, you could comment, like, or whatever, hit me up if you have any questions. But this is going to be a quick but thorough explanation on why Poetic Flacco is so wrong about the Dame Dash situation when Dame Dash is threatening to sue the Breakfast Club, okay? So in my other videos where I try to educate people on stuff that they don't know, especially when they're walking around here looking very degreed. When I say degreed, it's like you're premeditated to give somebody mental health. That's exactly what I'm about to nail right now. So with those words that I constantly use that go hand in hand with subconscious, which is incorporeal, intangible, and ghostly. Okay, Poetic Flacco, I choose you. Before I come down on you, I'm just going to let you know something. And I want everybody else who views this video, not just Zit with the Drip or Hassan Campbell, and anybody else that has any type of relations or dealings with the religion of Islam. But Poetic Flacco, you are one prime example on why I do not want to be Muslim anymore. And you are the prime example on my argument that I would make to Allah if I had a chance to talk to him. You are the prime example. So just to get it over right now, Dame Dash can sue the Breakfast Club and Charlemagne the God for any type of, harassment referring to dirty sneakers. I know it sounds foolish. I know it sounds stupid, but he will have success, and he will either draw a settlement or win it in its entirety. I'm not sure if you people understand something, and a lot of you immigrants don't understand, but you just keep asking questions and keep acting on stuff that you have no idea what you're talking about. If you look at a judge is wearing black. The black is on the inside. The color black and the word intangible or ghostly or incorporeal has everything to do with each other. That's the definition of a subconscious, because when you're rhyming consciously and talking about something consciously, it's out loud. It's in the light. But when it's a deep, dark, hidden thought, such as black, and such as the word intangible and incorporeal, you have to understand that they use premeditation in court, and they use the word degree in court. So this is all conjuring, if you understand that. It's not just an act of violence, sporadicness. If I had a fight, we had a fight and somebody died, that's not premeditation. That's not murder. You understand where I'm coming from? When you're running with premeditation, when you're running with degree, the judge in the prosecution shows it in court that you had thoughts that's incorporeal, intangible, on hurting somebody. Now there's a whole bunch of stuff that goes with a judgment, okay? And one of the things that Dame Dash is going to win for, just like how I win and how I just, got the leverage from my last situation, is that Dame Dash has a very brutal, nasty scar on the right side of his hairline, causing him to be bald. I have one that's on the left, and I have a whole bunch of lacerations. So for people like Poetic Flacco, who just has this nonchalant attitude towards this bald head person that has a scar, because we can see where your angle is coming from, I want to point out that Poetic Flacco, you are the definition of haram. You are the definition of evil. You are the definition on why people should be able to get away with homicide and murder and killing. Yes, you are. You see how Poetic Flacco's hairline is being pushed back? You see that? You see how the barber is pushing your hairline back, Poetic Flacco? Do you see why you really deserve that? Okay? Because if Dame Dash is going to go to court and sue somebody for some banter, it's just not for the situation. Okay? It's just not for the dirty sneakers. We got to look at the scar and if he's getting made fun of. We got to look if he's bald-headed because of the scar and who attacked him. We got to see if other people are antagonizing and hopping onto the bullying trait and the bullying train of Dame Dash. So once again, you people come to this country and you just take freedom and you take everything that you hear from the white person and the white man and the white woman and you just try to benefit off it the same way. You understand that? You understand that incorporeal and intangible was explained in the Texas Chainsaw Massacre when the guy, the Huey guy, the Leatherface guy, when he was wearing people's skin? That's symbolic detail. That's descriptive detail on people playing with the ghostly, people playing with the intangible, wearing your burns, wearing other people's burns, wearing other people's wear and tear, wearing other people's scars. It's called the ghostly, the intangible, the incorporeal. That's the whole reason why the judge wears black. When the judge tried to come down on me for a fight on a bus, I looked at my lawyer and this is what I said. This bitch doesn't have a scar, never been stabbed in her head before, doesn't have a burn on her face, doesn't have a scar on her head, anything, and she gets to judge me. I said exactly that, and I got the leverage. Asked for a new judge and everything. Okay? So just know, Poetic Flacco, you are going around as an African, degreed in Islam, acting like a ghetto-ass, stupid bastard. Okay? There is nothing peace and love that you are preaching to the good people, whether what religion they are in. There's nothing positive on what you're doing. Understand that. So if Dame Dash is a Christian or a Jew, and he goes to court and he pulls up a video of Poetic Flacco, who's degreed in Islam, who just has the nastiest attitude, who hides behind homosexuality, and you have a disability yourself, in which you have a stuttering disability, but this same disability that you have, some of us know the side effects of it. That's why you're so big. That's why you can gain so much weight. That's why you drink a lot of water and stuff like that. And you get big because your brain is basically suffocating. Your body is not matching the air capacity to your head. Okay? To your brain and your body is not matching. Prime example. People that walk on their tippy toes, they're disabled. It's a known fact that people that walk on their tippy toes 24/7, they lack oxygen in the brain. There's not enough oxygen in the brain. So that's another safe haven. It's a safe haven that people take. They walk on their tippy toes, and the sensation of heavy, strong, tight legs brings the oxygen into their body a different way. I just need you to know that. Okay? So, if I turn on a video, right, and I look at an Arab who lives in Juma, who lives in the mosque, who prays Salat 5 times, who makes zakat and lives in his religion the right way, and then I turn on another TV and I have Poetic Flacco talking in Arabic, maybe in the ghostly, not just in the corporeal, not just in the conscious, not just in the tangible, but in the inside, and you have this premeditated, degree bullied attitude and persona. You know, Hassan Campbell does it. Zip with the drip does it. If you turn on that TV or that cell phone, and you see these content creators bullying people coming from a different angle, and we have war with our religions, then somebody like Dame Dash can go to court and say that somebody's Muslim who is not in his God's faith is bullying him, and he will win. So before you turn the video off as I'm talking and you try to wear my scar again, or you try to wear Dame Dash's scar, or you try to wear Kai Cenat's scar, right? Just know you're eligible to get sued, because that's what court is about. Premeditation, degree, what leads to what. It's just not the action. Okay? And now that you have 1 billion followers and 1 billion likes, and everybody in your audience is going to want to bully Dame Dash over some dirty sneakers, it gets deeper than that. I don't know if you've seen, or if you're up to speed with a DDG and the Reggie situation. I know you are, because you know them personally despite you being away from them. But DDG brought up a good point. He said, I don't care if you say my music is trash. This is what DDG said. He said, but if you have a big fan base in the audience and you're saying my music is trash, you can easily manipulate somebody that's not up there in the upper echelon to bully me or perhaps hurt me for no apparent reason. So, Poetic Flacco, I need for you to understand the way that you're fitting in society. And I know your blood too. I know your gang. I know all of that. I know everything about you. Everything. I remember you from a long time ago. I almost left Virginia to come back up here to step to you, but you wasn't here. I learned about everything later on in life with all of y'all. Everybody that came looking for me, everybody that spammed me, everybody that trolled me, all of y'all niggas that's running from me right now, right? Because I'm doing nothing but hurting you, hurting your pockets. Everybody that's avoiding me when you had so much smoke for me when I was in Virginia, and not just y'all, everybody in Yonkers, Mount Vernon, and White Plains, just know you're wrong about everything. Your whole persona is cowardly. And the thing about judges, prosecutors, and cops, federal agents, they hate a coward. If you commit the crime, be brazen, be ballsy, be Billy Badass, and say and live up that you did it. You might get some leverage down the way. Okay? So you're wrong. Dame Dash can sue Charlemagne the God for the simple fact, yeah, he does have a bald head, and he does have a scar on the right side of his head, causing him to be bald. Okay? I just need for you, I need for everybody to understand that. I despise people like that. I'm never like that, right? But what makes me more mad is when you immigrants come over here and you get just a little educated on the law, but you don't know it in its entirety because there's a dark side in the law, in the whole law field, that you have to pay for in intuition to learn so you can use it in the streets. Because, you know, lawyers will kill somebody. I don't think you know that. I don't think you know if you hire a lawyer, you pay $1 million for a lawyer can go kill somebody for you or get the person killed and then admit that they did it and then bring up why they did it and go sit in jail until their next court case. It's a whole bunch of stuff that you people needed to pay your tuition, you know? You need to pay the tuition to find out. See, I took my chance. And y'all all thought I was slow and stupid as I was, you know, picking out your tuxedo to lay you in the casket in, or picking out your pajamas when you die in your bed on Judgment Day. I just need for you to understand that, Poetic Flacco. Okay? I want no parts of Islam whatsoever. I want out for you making videos. I want out. I don't want nobody. I don't want nobody to speak to me in Arabic. I don't want to hear nothing. I'm about to go eat a whole pork sandwich. Maybe get sick and do a whole bunch of evil bad shit towards Islam because I have to adopt a brother like you, Poetic Flacco? Not by my choice. You see where this is going? You see how if I bring this angle up in court like how I do? I'm not scared of them. I say and do whatever I want. The bailiffs, they take 15 and 20 steps away from me and they have their hand on their gun because they know I would take off on them. Me being judged. See, you can't do that, Flacco. You can't. And I worked in a barbershop for 6 years. And I watched barbers, right? Barbers take people's hairline right in front of them. If you notice, I'm bald with a hairline. Okay? That's my blessing. That's the medical field. That's what the judge looked at. That's why she apologized to me. I didn't get sentenced for 15 years for calling her a bitch. Because she knew it would have got worse. Okay? You can't do that. You can't do what I do. I'm burned from head to toe. I got 4 burns, permanent burns, and scarred all the way up. Of course I'm going to distribute or display some type of mental health because I have been going through whatever I've been going through. And then have somebody as privileged and scary as the next person, which is yourself, or maybe a Hassan Campbell, to sit up there and give me mental health. You have to understand, if this unblemished person matches a judge or a prosecutor and y'all all don't have blemishes, and you're sitting up here focusing on me, I'm entitled to some justice. Whether it's street justice or it's federal justice. That's why past the city and state, you go to the feds. You understand that? So yes, if Dame Dash wants to sue the Breakfast Club, who has millions and billions of listeners and followers, and this man is scarred with no hair, and we already know about your inappropriate kids, America. For some reason, my red chakra goes off and your little stupid ass kids wants to stare at my left side when I have a hat on or a hood on. Maybe he heard something incorporeally and he's listening to his parents. This is a prime and bold reason on why you will get nuked. Okay? You take Hindu, right? Yeah, it's that real. Don't you see it's a judge, a prosecutor, in the defense? My. Where else do we see the 3? Okay, it's called the 3-Eye Atlas. Let me be a rapper. Besides using the picture brain, 3-Eye Atlas, 3 guys at least, or at last, you could kind of see where this is going. All right? So, before you get on camera again with your disability and your barber pushing your line back because you are supposed to be Muslim in the content you're creating, you're focusing and you're victimizing non-Muslims, making my religion look terrible as if it doesn't already look at his. I just wish you 1,000 deaths as a coward. You need to dumb it down. You understand? You don't pick on nobody else but these other Christians. All these other Muslims, you don't say nothing to. Or them devil worshippers from Tennessee that made you move, that Govin Hernandez cat was going to put some money on your head and get you murdered before you apologize for that young Dolph situation and stuff like that. Okay? Understand that. Understand that you are filthy. Okay? Understand that. Understand that these people did nothing wrong to you first. You don't have my back, Poetic Flacco. You don't. You only have my back in the incorporeal, in the intangible, which is not always believable in the tangible. And that's why they put you in jail and summon you to time to see if certain things change from incorporeal to corporeal, or if it's already corporeal, if you can hear or feel something, orange chakra, feel something, orange chakra, in the corporeal, in the incorporeal, for the corporeal, in the intangible. You understand that? You see, you get locked up, and then for something you did in the light, but if there's an annoying voice in the intangible, incorporeal, in the dark, that comes back and made you make that action, that you get justification, the sign language and everything. You can't just come over to this country taking advantage of the people, using Islam, using a harmonizing a hum or a harmonizing prayer that the indigenous people to the land made up for a yoga to relax each other, to relax ourselves. You can't use that to target people. You're absolutely wrong. Okay? 100%. There's nothing you can do. My father is not Muslim. I had a shahada before I can crawl, talk, or walk. That's a part of the reason why I have a chakra, because all of the people that speak Arabic or Swahili or anything other language that's related to Islam made my senses, my consciousness, in my subconsciousness, my senses heightened before I had sense. You understand that? You understand when you're praying, you're making salat, it's not just words, it's a hum. You do see that, right? I don't know if you've seen the newest footage, but there's a lot of Asian people who converted to Islam. And I'm telling you, them Asian people that converted to Islam and they adapted and they got the natural, the organic earth, like I'm dead serious. They got a piece of the earth that they didn't have before. They lost from back in the day. You could see it in their face. You could see the animal. You see how I could look like an animal sometimes? You should see it in the Asians. And they're just ready to just get rid of somebody like you, Poetic Flacco. They're just ready to get rid of you, Hassan Campbell, Zip with the Drip. They look like an animal. The greed in Islam, what is Shahada? Yeah, the Arabs. They took them to a concentration camp, basically bed broke them into Islam, and you should see the look that they look like. You know when a fighter is in shape? We're going to say Floyd Mayweather. When Floyd Mayweather was in his prime, you see how black his eyes was, right? That's because of his cardio. His cardio was superb. There was nobody messing with Floyd's cardio or whatever. And you see how jet black his eyes got. Look at David Benavidez. Look at those Hispanic fighters too. Not just the colored fighters. Look at the Hispanic fighters that get in shape and they run, they get air. Not just lifting weights, but their essence. All of our essence come from planet Earth, regardless. Okay? But you see, once your heart, the strongest muscle in the body, when you condition it in the outside air and the weather, it conditions your heart and it shows in your eyes. You see the animalistic, the features in us. You see the indigenous in us. Hispanic people, the white people. You see, it's a sharp look, right? Adrian Broner. Go look at Adrian Broner when he was in his prime, before he was drinking and smoking, when he had a lot of cardio. You see how black his eyes was? Compared to now, to where he's blown and he's done. That's my point. That's my point. When you tap into the indigenousness, okay, it makes you vile. It makes you angry. I just ran an easy 3 miles just to run it because it was hot outside. I wish it was 90 degrees. Otherwise, I'd have ran like 9 miles or 12 miles. I just did a little 3 because it was 83 degrees outside. But you see what I'm talking about. And this is my point about you, Hassan, you, Zip, Darren Bossett, and you, Poetic Flock, Frederick. You're taking a natural hum from the indigenous people and you're using it for foul. Okay? Always remember that. I don't appreciate that whatsoever. And the Asians that got the new Asians, the new Muslim Asians that, that the Arabs gave the Shahada to, and I guess they trained or whatever, yeah, you're going to be scared of them. You're going to be scared of them. They're here, I don't know if you know, but Asian people are Native American also. Not just me, not just the Mexicans, not just the other Hispanics, the Teneo Indians and all of them. They are too. And wait till you see them. They look like monsters. And guess what? Guess what? They're justified to feel that way. You feel me? They look like every indigenous animal that was here before humans. Tiger, bear, gorilla. You can see it all in them. There's nothing evil about that. Okay? The only evil is when you talk. Because you're not supposed to talk when you have a chakra. When you have chakras, you don't talk to get them. They teach you have to lose your breath. You have to die and learn the transparency. You're using the transparency, the heavy transparency. Well, it's supposed to be transparency. You're using it for bad by talking, and you're putting a bad light, because that's what transparency is. You're putting a bad light in people. So I have no respect whatsoever for a lot of you people that claim Islam. Thank God for Shia. Right. You guys aren't Shia. I know Zip claimed he was Shia, but even Zip is a little different than Poetic Flacco and Hassan Campbell, just to be honest. I'm still not a fan. My father was born with a heart murmur. I'm actually the total opposite. I have a very, very strong heart. Okay? Very, very strong. That's why I do rigorous cardio. So the next time Pistol Pete or whatever, or Zip with the Drip or Hassan or whatever, when you want to pick on a man that has a bad heart, and I don't get along with my father. I honestly don't give a fuck about him. That's just between me and you. But I have to be integrated within the situation, so I guess I'm going to just have to hold the situation down. When you want to pick on somebody's heart or make them scared or take their heart, make sure it's a heart like mine. A person with a murmur in their heart, they can be conquered. It's a hole in their heart. But when you have a beast like me, a monster like me, right? Try to conquer my heart. Try to make me scared. Okay? Don't listen to them voices for them noonies, right? Them loonies that think that, that you listen to, that had a chance on scaring me, that I probably paid just to, rub you guys the wrong way so you can try me. Don't listen to that voice no more. Because at the stab of the finger, the same nigga that you praising that you thought could do something, I'll kill him. And he knows it too. Okay? So before you listen to that, I have a very strong heart. And I'm not going to lie. If you conquer this heart right here, you'll probably accomplish something in life. The judge will probably give you some type of leverage or a round of applause. Understand that and know that for a fact. Okay? So just stop. Dame Dash, best of luck to him. He can win. Absolutely. He can win a lawsuit. This is how I won my lawsuits. Just not based off the incident. It's everything else leading to the person. That's why you have to appear in front of people to get judged. Okay? See, I went to school for criminal justice and law, so I know this. Okay? I was the paralegal's paralegal. Yes. I had a friend. She was a dear friend of mine. She was a paralegal. And I was her paralegal. Okay? I can do her job. I just did her job for her. You understand that? So with that being said, watch what you do. I mean, I think the 3-Eye Atlas is a little bit self-telling on why it needs to come down on certain people. Yeah, watch your mouth, okay? Stop talking about people, or stop talking to people with scars and burns and bald-headed people. If we can't get the same leverage as you, then why think about us? Why talk about us? Why talk to us? I live this every single day of my life, whether it was in school or up here. You try to shade me, I got a scar, whatever the case may be. Why do you want to talk to me? Why do you want to look at me? Why, when you're by yourself or you're in front of your girl, you use the incorporeal and you put on my teeth, or you put on my beard, or you put on my scar, or you put on my tattoos? Why? Okay? No matter what you do, no matter what you say, no matter which community you are a part of, right? There's something in planet Earth called a girl, a female, a woman. All right? And that's the entity that shows I'm telling the truth. Because she might have a son that might experience an accident, an unwanted accident, and has to live his life either disfigured or handicapped, like anybody else that goes through that. You understand? If you notice, you niggas is a type. Everybody that has something to say about a girl smashing a dude and they're 10 years apart, 4 years apart, you guys are the same dude trying to turn a handsome little kid into a transgender. You understand that? You understand that Kai Cenat had to suck a whole bunch of people's nuts just to sleep with a transgender in White Plains and Yonkers, New York? And y'all all are a part of this? He had to get slashed in his face, have sex with a whole bunch of men not dressed as drag queens, just to get a transgender that he's sexually attracted to, that's on hormones. So his face is burning with stitches. He's homoed out. A whole bunch of grown men just got their dick sucked by him. And he can't even pleasure himself by sleeping with a transgender that he's attracted to. Now look at that angle.